Dr. Vincent Caldwell stood at the edge of the temporal rift, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. The sleek, silver device strapped to his wrist hummed softly, its lights flickering in a pattern he had memorized countless times. Today was the day he would attempt the impossible, altering the course of history to create a better future. Or so he believed. The laboratory around him buzzed with activity, colleagues darting back and forth, checking readings and making last-minute adjustments. Vincent glanced at the clock. It was almost time. He took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. This mission was different from his previous, more controlled experiments. This was his chance to make a real impact. "All systems green," announced Dr. Elena Ramirez, his trusted assistant. She flashed him a reassuring smile. "Ready when you are." Vincent nodded, his mind racing through the steps he had rehearsed 1,000 times. He activated the device, feeling the familiar surge of energy as the temporal field enveloped him. The world around him blurred, colors and sounds melding into a dizzying whirl. Then, as abruptly as it had started, the sensation ceased. He blinked, disoriented, and found himself standing in the heart of ancient Rome. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and roasted meats. Around him, the grandeur of the Roman Forum sprawled, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Vincent's mission was clear: prevent the assassination of Julius Caesar, a pivotal moment he believed had set humanity back. But as he began to navigate the bustling streets, a misplaced step sent him tumbling into a nearby alley. He scrambled to his feet, only to realize he wasn't in the Roman Senate but smack in the middle of a gladiator arena. The roar of the crowd was deafening, and the sight of blood-soaked sand beneath his feet made his stomach churn. "Ah, a Roman god," someone shouted, pointing at him with reverence. Vincent cursed under his breath. His calculations were off by 1,000 years. Instead of ancient Rome, he had landed in the heart of a gladiator fight, a spectacle that had long been relegated to the annals of history. Panic set in as he tried to understand how to rectify his mistake. In the chaos, he spotted a terrified senator being dragged towards the arena's center, the infamous moment when Caesar was to be betrayed. Without thinking, Vincent approached the senator, clutching his wrist device in a futile attempt to explain. The senator, eyes wide with fear, mistook Vincent's awkward gestures for divine intervention. "Have no fear, noble Caesar's ally. The gods have sent us a savior." Vincent realized too late that his attempt to reassure had only deepened the confusion. Before he could backtrack, the crowd surged forward, demanding a spectacle. Sensing an opportunity amidst the pandemonium, Vincent stumbled into the makeshift stage, his mind racing for words that might sway the masses. "Citizens of Rome," he began, his voice unsteady but growing in confidence. "I bring you news of peace and prosperity. Caesar will lead us to a golden age, free from the shadows of betrayal." The crowd, swayed by his impassioned, if somewhat disjointed, speech, erupted in cheers. The senator, emboldened by Vincent's words, called off the guards, declaring his support for Caesar's unassailable leadership. For a moment, it seemed Vincent had succeeded beyond his wildest hopes, but as the dust settled, reality set back in. He had no idea what repercussions his interference might have on the timeline. All he knew was that he needed to return to his own time before the situation spiraled out of control. With a final, frantic gesture, he activated the device, feeling the temporal shift once more. The laboratory welcomed him back, the familiar sights and sounds grounding him after the surreal experience. His colleagues watched in awe and concern as he staggered to his feet, clearly shaken but unharmed. "Did you do it?" Elena asked, eyes wide. Vincent forced a smile, trying to mask his inner turmoil. "I think so. Caesar's assassination, prevented. But, something feels off." As the days passed, Vincent monitored the timeline for any changes. At first, everything seemed normal. Then, subtle shifts began to emerge. Rome appeared more advanced, with infrastructure and engineering marvels that surpassed historical records. The Renaissance had arrived a century early, bringing with it innovations that propelled society into a technologically superior era. By the year 1500, Vincent's initial triumph gave way to confusion and concern. His mission to fix historical mistakes had inadvertently created an alternate timeline, one that was vastly different from what he had intended. The assassination of Julius Caesar had been a catalyst for change, and by preventing it, he had accelerated technological progress in ways he hadn't anticipated. Determined to understand the ramifications of his actions, Vincent delved into the altered history. He discovered that the delayed fall of the Roman Empire had led to an earlier and more profound Renaissance, fostering advancements in engineering, medicine, and the arts. Society had flourished, seemingly free from the turmoil that had historically plagued it, but as he continued his research, Vincent uncovered a disturbing pattern. Each fixed event in history had unintended consequences that, while beneficial in some aspects, led to new challenges and dependencies. The accelerated technological progress had made society overly reliant on advanced machinery and artificial intelligence, stifling human creativity and resilience. Realizing that his attempt to erase historical mistakes had inadvertently created a future plagued by its own set of problems, Vincent faced a harsh truth: the very failures he sought to eliminate were the bedrock of human progress. The missteps, the setbacks, and the tragedies were essential components of the intricate tapestry that shaped civilization. Frustration and doubt gnawed at him. Was he doomed to repeat this cycle of interference and unintended consequences? The weight of his actions pressed down on him, but he couldn't shake the feeling that there might be a way to rectify his mistake. Driven by a desperate need to set things right, Vincent prepared for another journey through time. This mission would require precision and a deep understanding of the delicate balance that governed history. He couldn't afford another miscalculation, not when the future hung in the balance. As he activated the temporal device once more, Vincent vowed to tread carefully, aware that the path to a better future was fraught with complexities he was only beginning to comprehend. Dr. Vincent Caldwell stood before the temporal device once more, the weight of his previous miscalculations pressing heavily on his mind. He adjusted the settings meticulously, cross-referencing his notes to ensure pinpoint accuracy this time. The goal was clear: prevent another historical misstep without triggering the cascade of unintended consequences he had witnessed after his first intervention. With a deep breath, Vincent activated the device. The familiar sensation of temporal displacement enveloped him, pulling him away from the present and hurling him into the past. Moments later, he found himself in a bustling workshop, the late 18th century ambience surrounding him. The air was thick with the scent of oil and metal, and the rhythmic clinking of tools filled the space. He recognized the figure hunched over a workbench, the unmistakable silhouette of Benjamin Franklin. Vincent had chosen this moment carefully. He believed that by preventing Franklin's early experiments with electricity, he could delay the advent of technologies that led to his dystopian future. However, as he stepped forward, his presence caused an immediate stir. The workshop was alive with activity, and the sudden appearance of a stranger was met with suspicion. "Who are you?" Franklin demanded, his eyes narrowing as he took in Vincent's futuristic attire. Vincent raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "I come in peace, Mr. Franklin. I mean no harm. I'm here to discuss your experiments." Franklin, ever the skeptic, eyed him warily. "Discuss my experiments, you say? What business does a stranger have with my work?" Vincent hesitated, searching for the right words. "I believe that by altering the course of your experiments, we can prevent future technological dependencies that may hinder human creativity and resilience." Franklin chuckled, a sound tinged with both amusement and frustration. "You speak of futures as if they are set in stone. My experiments with electricity are merely the beginning of what humanity can achieve." Before Vincent could respond, the workshop was interrupted by the arrival of several townsfolk, drawn by the commotion. Sensing the escalating tension, Vincent knew he had limited time to make his case. He decided to take a different approach, leveraging Franklin's curiosity and innovative spirit. Imagine a future where technology advances unchecked, leading to a society overly reliant on machinery and artificial intelligence. Vincent began, choosing his words carefully. A future where human ingenuity is stifled by the very tools designed to aid it. Franklin listened intently, his interest piqued despite himself. Go on. Vincent continued, presenting a vivid picture of his dystopian future, a world where automation has rendered many human skills obsolete, where emotional connections are weakened by virtual interactions, and where creativity has been supplanted by algorithmic efficiency. He spoke of the loss of human spirit, the decline of arts and humanities, and the existential crises faced by individuals in a society dominated by machines. Franklin stroked his beard thoughtfully. A compelling vision, indeed. But is it not the case that technology, when used wisely, can enhance human potential rather than diminish it? Vincent nodded, acknowledging the point. Absolutely, but the key lies in balance. Without careful consideration, technological advancements can lead to unforeseen consequences that may outweigh their benefits. As their conversation deepened, Vincent began to see a glimmer of understanding in Franklin's eyes. The inventor was not dismissive but rather contemplative, recognizing the validity of Vincent's concerns. However, the young scientist's passion for progress was undeniable, and he was reluctant to abandon his work without a compelling reason. Just as Vincent felt he was making headway, a sudden interruption shattered the fragile rapport. A group of industrialists, eager to capitalize on Franklin's discoveries, burst into the workshop, demanding access to his latest inventions. Their aggressive demeanor left little room for reasoned discussion. Franklin turned to face them, his expression shifting from curiosity to frustration. "Gentlemen, my work is not for sale. It is meant to advance our understanding and benefit society as a whole." The industrialists were undeterred. "We see great potential in your experiments, Franklin. The applications are limitless, and the profits are substantial. Join us, and we can accelerate the progress you so diligently pursue." Vincent realized that this moment was critical. The choices made here could have far-reaching implications for the future. He had to influence Franklin's decision without overtly revealing his true intentions or identity. "Mr. Franklin," Vincent interjected, addressing both the inventor and the industrialists, "perhaps there's a way to collaborate that ensures ethical development and prevents potential misuse of your discoveries." Franklin considered the proposal, weighing the benefits against the risks. After a tense pause, he nodded slowly. "Very well. Collaboration can be a powerful tool if guided by the right principles." The industrialists exchanged pleased glances, and a tentative agreement was reached. Vincent had successfully steered the conversation towards a more balanced approach, mitigating the immediate threat of uncontrolled technological advancement. As the workshop settled back into its rhythm, Vincent felt a sense of accomplishment. He had managed to influence a pivotal moment without causing drastic disruptions to the timeline. However, he knew that his mission was far from over. Each intervention required careful consideration and an understanding of the intricate web of cause and effect that defined history. With a final glance at Franklin's determined expression, Vincent activated the temporal device once more. The familiar pull of time displacement enveloped him, and he was whisked away from the past. Returning to his present. Back in the laboratory, Vincent debriefed with Dr. Elena Ramirez and the rest of the team. The altered timeline appeared stable, with no immediate signs of drastic changes. The assassination of Julius Caesar still loomed in history, and Franklin's experiments continued, albeit with a more ethically guided approach. Yet, Vincent couldn't shake the feeling that the challenges he faced were only growing more complex. As he delved deeper into the intricacies of time manipulation, he began to understand that every action, no matter how well-intentioned, had the potential to create ripples that could alter the very fabric of reality. Determined to uncover the full scope of his mission, Vincent embarked on a series of journeys through time, each one more delicate than the last. He visited critical moments in history, from the sinking of the Titanic to the creation of the first personal computer, seeking to understand the true impact of each event on the trajectory of human civilization. In each case, Vincent discovered that the so-called failures he aimed to prevent were, in fact, catalysts for monumental advancements. The Titanic disaster, for instance, had led to significant improvements in maritime safety technologies, saving countless lives in future generations. The First World War, though devastating, had accelerated the development of aviation and modern medicine, innovations that had transformed society in ways he had never imagined. As Vincent continued his explorations, he encountered subtle patterns that suggested a hidden hand guiding the course of history. It became increasingly clear that there was an underlying order to the chaos, a balance that maintained the delicate equilibrium of progress and setbacks. This realization was both humbling and terrifying, as it challenged his belief in his ability to control and improve the future. One evening, while poring over historical records in the laboratory, Vincent stumbled upon references to a mysterious group known as the Custodians of History. These individuals were rumored to possess advanced knowledge of temporal mechanics, dedicated to preserving the integrity of the timeline. Their existence was shrouded in secrecy, and few believed they were more than mere legends. Intrigued and concerned, Vincent decided to seek out these custodians. His research led him to various historical events where their influence seemed palpable, moments where the course of history was subtly steered away from potential disruptions. The custodians appeared to operate from the shadows, ensuring that critical events unfolded as necessary to maintain the flow of progress. Vincent's pursuit of the custodians took him to a pivotal moment in the early 20th century, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He arrived in Sarajevo just days before the event, observing the tense political climate that would eventually ignite World War I. His mission was clear: prevent the assassination to avoid the subsequent global conflict. However, as he delved into the situation, Vincent realized that this assassination was not merely a spark for war but also a catalyst for profound technological and societal changes. The resulting war had accelerated advancements in military technology, medicine, and even women's roles in the workforce, transformations that had shaped the modern world in significant ways. Conflicted, Vincent grappled with the ethical implications of his actions. Could he justify preventing a tragedy that, while devastating, had ultimately contributed to the progress and resilience of humanity? The more he understood, the more he questioned the validity of his mission to fix history. His doubts were soon confirmed when he encountered the custodians of history. A cloaked figure approached him in a secluded alley, their presence both imposing and enigmatic. "Dr. Caldwell," the figure addressed him, their voice calm yet authoritative. "We have been expecting you." Vincent felt a chill run down his spine. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" The custodian removed their hood, revealing a face marked by age and wisdom. "I am Marcus, a member of the custodians. Your interventions in the timeline have not gone unnoticed." Vincent took a step back, the gravity of the situation sinking in. "I was trying to fix historical mistakes to create a better future." "I didn't know." Marcus raised a hand to silence him. "Your intentions may be noble, but tampering with the timeline is a perilous endeavor. History is a complex tapestry, each thread intricately woven to support the next. Disrupting one thread can unravel the entire fabric." Vincent's frustration bubbled to the surface. "But the future I come from is flawed. Technology has taken over, and humanity is losing its essence. I thought I could prevent that by correcting the past." Marcus regarded him thoughtfully. "Every action has consequences, Dr. Caldwell. The very mistakes you seek to eliminate are the foundations upon which progress is built. Without failure, there can be no growth." Vincent's mind raced, struggling to reconcile his mission with Marcus's words. "So what should I do? Continue interfering and risk further destabilizing the timeline?" Marcus shook his head. "No. The timeline must be preserved as it is. Our role is to ensure that history unfolds naturally, with all its triumphs and tragedies. You must cease your interventions and allow the course of history to take its intended path." Vincent felt a surge of desperation. "But what if the future becomes worse? What if I can make a difference?" Marcus's expression softened. "True progress comes not from erasing the past but from learning from it. Embrace the imperfections and understand that they are integral to our development. By forcing change, you undermine the very essence of humanity's resilience and ingenuity. As Marcus spoke, Vincent began to understand the profound truth in his words. The struggles and setbacks of history were not merely obstacles but essential elements that drove innovation and fostered the human spirit. Without them, society would lack the necessary challenges that inspire growth and adaptation. Reluctantly, Vincent realized that his mission was misguided. He had become so focused on correcting perceived mistakes that he had lost sight of the intricate balance that defined the course of history. The custodians had been right all along. Interfering with the timeline was not the solution. With a heavy heart, Vincent made the decision to abandon his mission. He deactivated the temporal device, ensuring that he would no longer meddle with the events that shaped the world. Instead, he chose to observe and understand, embracing the lessons that history had to offer. Returning to the present, Vincent found the laboratory unchanged, the device now silent and inert. He shared his experiences with Dr. Elena Ramirez and the rest of the team, emphasizing the importance of preserving the integrity of the timeline. In the days that followed, Vincent dedicated himself to studying history from a new perspective. He focused on the interplay of events, the delicate balance between progress and setbacks, and the enduring legacy of human resilience. His once rigid belief in controlling the future gave way to a deeper appreciation for the complexities that defined it. As he reflected on his journey, Vincent realized that true progress was not about erasing the past but about learning from it. The legacy of the future lay not in perfection but in the imperfect, human experiences that drove innovation and shaped civilization. Dr. Vincent Caldwell sat in the quiet of the laboratory, the hum of the temporal device now a distant memory. The weight of his decisions pressed heavily on his shoulders, but a newfound sense of clarity began to replace his earlier frustration. He glanced around at his colleagues, their faces a mixture of concern and curiosity, and realized that his journey through time had fundamentally changed not only his perspective but potentially the future of humanity itself. Elena approached him, her expression softening. "Vincent, are you all right?" He nodded slowly, taking a deep breath. "I think so. It took me a while to process everything, but I understand now. History isn't something we can, or should, try to control." Elena placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "I'm glad you've come to that realization. It's been a challenging mission for all of us, but your experiences have taught us something invaluable." Vincent looked down at his wrist, where the temporal device once gleamed with possibility. "I thought I could fix the future by changing the past, but all I did was create more problems. The more I tried to make things better, the more I realized that the imperfections and failures of history are what make progress possible." As days turned into weeks, Vincent immersed himself in historical studies, not as a manipulator but as a student eager to understand the intricate dance of events that shaped humanity. He delved into the stories of inventors, leaders, and everyday people, recognizing that their struggles and triumphs were the true drivers of innovation and resilience. Each historical figure he studied became a source of inspiration, their lives a testament to the strength found in imperfection. One evening, as the sun set and cast long shadows across the laboratory, Vincent received an unexpected visitor. Marcus, the custodian of history, stood at the entrance, his presence both familiar and enigmatic. "Dr. Caldwell," Marcus greeted him, his voice calm and steady. "May I have a moment of your time?" Vincent stood, feeling a mix of apprehension and respect. "Of course, Marcus. What brings you here?" Marcus approached, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding. "I've been observing your progress since our last encounter. Your decision to cease altering the timeline has had a positive impact. The disturbances have stabilized, and the natural course of history is being preserved." Vincent felt a wave of relief wash over him. "I'm glad to hear that. It wasn't an easy decision, but I believe it was the right one." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Your journey has been enlightening, not just for you but for all of us. It demonstrated the importance of individual agency within the vast tapestry of time." While we strive to maintain the integrity of history, your actions highlighted the delicate balance between intervention and preservation. Vincent pondered Marcus's words. So, what happens now? Do I continue my work here, or is there something more I should do? Marcus smiled slightly. There is always more to learn and understand. Your experiences have given you a unique perspective that can benefit our efforts. We could use someone with your insights to help guide our future endeavors, ensuring that the lessons you've learned are integrated into our practices. Vincent considered the offer, recognizing the opportunity to contribute meaningfully without overstepping. I'd be honored to help. I've come to appreciate the complexities of history and the importance of letting events unfold naturally. Marcus extended his hand. Welcome to the custodians, Dr. Caldwell. Together, we can ensure that history remains a source of strength and inspiration for generations to come. As Vincent shook Marcus's hand, a sense of purpose settled over him. He realized that his true mission wasn't to control or fix the past but to protect and understand it. The custodians of history were guardians of a legacy that transcended time, and he was now a part of that enduring effort. In the following months, Vincent worked closely with the custodians, delving deeper into the mechanisms that govern time travel and historical integrity. He participated in missions that focused on subtle preservation rather than overt intervention, ensuring that key events remained unaltered while providing support and knowledge to those who could influence positive change organically. One particularly significant mission took Vincent back to the early 20th century, a time of rapid technological advancement and societal upheaval. The world stood on the brink of monumental changes, with innovations that promised both progress and peril. Vincent's role was to observe and, if necessary, provide discreet guidance to ensure that these developments proceeded in a way that fostered human creativity and resilience without succumbing to over-reliance on technology. During this mission, Vincent encountered a young inventor named Clara Thompson, whose work in developing early computing machines held great potential. However, there were signs that the rapid pace of her innovations could lead to unintended consequences, mirroring the issues Vincent's original future faced. Instead of intervening directly, Vincent engaged Clara in conversations about the ethical implications of her work, encouraging her to consider the broader impact on society. Clara was intrigued by Vincent's insights, finding herself grappling with the balance between technological advancement and human values. Their discussions sparked a shift in her approach, leading her to prioritize ethical considerations alongside innovation. Vincent watched with satisfaction as Clara's work began to reflect a more balanced perspective, ensuring that her inventions would enhance rather than hinder human potential. As Vincent continued his work with the custodians, he began to see the profound interconnectedness of historical events. Each mission reinforced the idea that progress was not a linear path but a complex web of choices, challenges, and adaptations. He learned to appreciate the subtle influences that shaped the course of history, understanding that true progress came from embracing imperfections and learning from them. One evening, after a particularly successful mission, Vincent found himself reflecting on his journey. He thought back to his initial misguided attempts to control the past and how those experiences had transformed his understanding of history and humanity. He realized that his true legacy was not in the technologies he had sought to alter but in the lessons he had learned about resilience, adaptability, and the enduring spirit of human innovation. As time went on, Vincent's reputation within the custodians grew. His unique perspective and experiences made him a valuable asset, and he became a mentor to new recruits, sharing his insights and emphasizing the importance of humility and respect for the natural flow of time. He encouraged others to approach history with curiosity and reverence, fostering a culture of learning and preservation. One day, while reviewing historical data, Vincent stumbled upon an event that piqued his interest: the early development of artificial intelligence. He knew all too well the potential dangers of unchecked technological advancement and felt a sense of responsibility to ensure that this particular innovation would benefit humanity without leading to the dystopian future he had once feared. Vincent proposed a mission to the custodians, aiming to provide discreet support to the pioneers of AI, guiding them to prioritize ethical frameworks and human-centric design. The custodians approved his plan, recognizing the significance of this endeavor. Vincent prepared meticulously, understanding that this mission would require the utmost care to preserve the integrity of the timeline while fostering positive outcomes. Upon arrival in the mid-20th century, Vincent embedded himself within a community of brilliant minds working on early AI projects. He built relationships with key figures, subtly influencing their approaches and encouraging them to consider the societal implications of their work. Through thoughtful conversations and strategic guidance, he helped steer the development of AI towards a path that emphasized collaboration, ethics, and the enhancement of human capabilities rather than replacement. Vincent watched as these pioneers navigated the complexities of their creations, witnessing firsthand the delicate balance between innovation and responsibility. He saw the seeds of a future where AI could coexist harmoniously with human ingenuity, supporting and augmenting rather than overshadowing it. The mission reaffirmed his belief in the power of understanding and guidance, rather than control, as the means to shape a better future. Returning to the present once more, Vincent felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The changes he had facilitated during his missions had led to a more balanced and resilient society, one that valued both technological advancement and the human spirit. The future he once feared was now a testament to the potential of humanity to learn from its past and build a legacy rooted in wisdom and compassion. As Vincent continued his work with the custodians, he embraced his role as a guardian of history, dedicated to preserving its integrity while fostering an environment where progress and humanity could thrive together. He understood that the true legacy of the future was not in the absence of mistakes but in the ability to learn from them, adapt, and grow stronger. One crisp autumn morning, Vincent stood on the rooftop of the laboratory, watching the city below as it bustled with life and activity. The skyline was a blend of historical architecture and modern innovations, a reflection of the harmonious balance he had helped achieve. He felt a profound sense of peace, knowing that the legacy of the future was in capable hands, both his own and those of the countless individuals who had shaped history through their resilience and creativity. As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the horizon, Vincent pondered the intricate dance of time and the enduring spirit of humanity. He realized that his journey had not been about fixing the past or controlling the future but about understanding and appreciating the delicate interplay that made progress possible. The legacy he had sought to protect was one of imperfection, resilience, and the unwavering drive to create a better world. With a final glance at the vibrant cityscape, Vincent turned back to the laboratory, ready to continue his work with the custodians. He knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges and discoveries, but he was confident that, together, they could navigate the complexities of time and history to ensure a future that honored the lessons of the past. In that moment, Vincent Caldwell embraced his true purpose, understanding that the legacy of the future was built not on the eradication of mistakes but on the strength and wisdom gained from overcoming them. And with that realization, he stepped forward, ready to contribute to a world where history's imperfections fueled progress and the human spirit thrived amidst the ever-evolving tapestry of time. The end.